Right, so study this diagram. Study this diagram. Study this diagram. The gravitational field strength of a planet oh no, don't need to revise that. Chemical test for water: cobalt chloride paper turns blue to pink, anhydrous copper 2 sulfate turns from white to blue. Water for house for water, yeah, we've done that. Test for water purity: pure water boils at exactly 100 degrees and melts exactly at 0 degrees. Impurities change the melting and boiling point. For example, adding salt increases the boiling point, but decreases the melting point of water. It is important that something in food additives are purified to prevent undesirable, carbon dioxide is formed from combustion, complete combustion of fuels, so burning in oxygen, respiration of glucose, reaction of metal carbonate and acid, thermal decomposition of calcium carbonate, limestone. Carbon dioxide is GHG, causes climate change. Methane is also GHG. Nitrogen and fertilizers. Plants need certain elements to grow well: nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. Haber process produces ammonia from elemental nitrogen and hydrogen. The nitrogen comes from fractional distillation of the air. Hydrogen comes from steam reforming of methane, so CH4 plus H2O makes CO plus 3H2. Composition of dry air is 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen and 1% argon, and small quantities of carbon dioxide. Rusting is the reaction between iron, oxygen and water. Rusting can be prevented by using barrier methods to prevent contact between iron and water, for example painting or covering with oil. Sacrificial protection, where a more reactive metal, such as zinc or magnesium, is placed in contact with the iron. Galvanizing involves using electrolysis to put a layer of zinc metal on the iron. Equation for the Haber process: 3H2 plus N2 makes NH3. Reaction needs 400 to 450 degrees Celsius temperature, pressure of 200 atmospheres, and an iron catalyst. Carbonates: lime or calcium oxide made from thermal decomposition of limestone or calcium carbonate. Limestone is heated to approximately 1000 degrees Celsius, so CaCO3 plus CaO makes CO2. Lime is used to treat acidic soil and is also used in flue gas desulfurization. Common air pollutants: carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrous oxides. Sulfur dioxide is formed by the combustion of fossil fuels which contain sulfur, and sulfur dioxide is released. When a gas reacts with water in the air, it forms acid rain. This tends to make soil more acidic, which makes crops harder to grow. Venting acid rain: low sulfur fuel is used for car engines. This prevents sulfur dioxide forming and stops acid rain. Factories have calcium oxide or lime in their chimney. This neutralizes the sulfur dioxide process called flue gas desulfurization. Preventing nitrogen oxides: cars are fitted with catalytic converters. These are transition metal catalysts that exhaust gases pass over. This reaction carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide form carbon dioxide and nitrogen. 2CO plus 2NO makes N2 plus 2CO2. Carbon monoxide is a very toxic gas. It forms from incomplete combustion in insufficient oxygen of fuels. Nitrous oxides, high temperatures in car engines cause nitrogen oxygen from the air to react. Nitrous oxides cause acid rain but can also cause lung disease like bronchitis. Sulfur is used to manufacture sulfuric acid. Contact process, sulfur is burned in air, oxygen to make sulfur dioxide. Sulfur plus oxygen makes sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide reacts with oxygen to make more sulfur, sulfur trioxide. Sulfur SO3 plus H2O makes 2 H2SO4. These steps need a vanadium dioxide catalyst, temperature of 450 degrees and pressure of 1 to 2 atmospheres. Sulfur trioxide does not react with water as it is dangerous. Instead it reacts with sulfuric acid to make oxygen. The oxygen reacts with water to form sulfuric acid. Reacts to make oleum. The oleum reacts with water to form sulfuric acid. So water plus sulfuric acid makes H2S2O7. Here's a diagram plant. I don't know what those are for. Enzymes are biological catalysts. They're made by living cells. They regulate chemical reactions which take place in many biological processes, and they are used over and over again. Enzyme and substrate molecules meet. They react together reversibly at the active site to form an enzyme-substrate complex. Enzyme plus enzyme substrate makes enzyme substrate complex. Enzyme substrate complex makes enzyme plus products, which are released from the active site. So there's just a active site of an enzyme is a region which can react with the substrate. Lock and key theory, but we don't need to know that. Substrate biomolecule that complements the active site. Yeah. Enzymes are specific. Every chemical reaction that takes place in an organism is catalysed by an enzyme. Because there is a close relationship between the shape of the active site and the shape of the substrate, the majority of enzymes are highly specific. Most are capable of catalysing only one reaction, although some can catalyse very few similar reactions. All cells contain enzymes, which are proteins, and act as catalysts which speed up chemical reactions. Reactions do not use up the enzymes which can take part in further reactions. So, denaturization of enzymes, and it doesn't work because the enzyme active site loses its shape due to bonds being broken and the active site does not complement the substrate. And if it's too cool, the enzyme, it will reaction will slow down. And obviously the cooler it gets, the longer it will take, the more it will slow down. All enzymes, yeah. So enzymes do their work outside of cells are called extracellular. Enzymes do their inside are intercellular. Most of our digestive enzymes are extracellular enzymes. So lipids provide insulation and energy store. And proteins are used to make enzymes, transport molecules, hemoglobin, muscles, hormones and antibodies. Vitamins and minerals, water-soluble vitamin C, or ascorbic acid, prevents scurvy. Production of fibres in the body is affected. Fat-soluble vitamin D, source of liver, dairy products, eggs and sunlight. Deficiency diseases, rickets, bones are soft and may bend. Vitamin D is needed for absorption of calcium. Calcium, milk, cheese, fish. Weak bones, poor clotting of blood, uncontrolled mucus, muscle spasms, rickets or deficiency syndromes. Iron, red meat, liver, spinach. Anemia is deficiency symptom, as iron is needed for the production of hemoglobin. Kwashiorkor is a diet high in carbohydrate, poor in protein. Mental and physical development impaired, slow muscle development and swollen liver. Adequate supply to make amino acids. Swollen admin due to water from blood being left behind in body tissues. Marasmus, general starvation, body tissue wastes away. Thin and wrinkled skin. Starvation, protein deficiency. Coronary heart disease, too much saturated fat and cholesterol cause blockage of blood vessels. Constipation, too little fibre, feces can't be passed regularly. Bacteria may work on trap feces and release chemicals that causes colon cancers. So, obesity, bodies store an unhealthy amount of fats at risk of developing diabetes, breathing difficulties, atherosclerosis, now in blood vessels, and arthritis. Food molecules must be converted or digested into small form of molecules before it can pass through the gut wall and be transported. Ingestion, taking in substances into the body through the mouth. Mechanical digestion, teeth and tongue break the food into small pieces. Chemical digestion, enzymes break down large insoluble molecules into small water-soluble molecules. Absorption, small digestive food molecules and ions cross the intestinal wall into the bloodstream or lymph. Assimilation, digested food moved into the cells of the body where it can be used for energy, growth and repair. Digestion, passing out of indigested food substances and dietary fibre through the anus. Defecation is defecation. Which is basically poo. Here's a diagram of the alimentary canal. Don't get the stomach, liver, gallbladder and pancreas mixed up. Mastication is the cutting and mixing of food in the mouth. So, different types of teeth: incisors for cutting and biting, canine for holding and cutting, premolars for chewing and crushing, molars for crushing and grinding. Here's a diagram. So an adult human has 32 permanent teeth. Children have 20 milk teeth. So a half set, or 8 teeth, is 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. And it goes from molars to incisors in that list. An adult human has 32 permanent teeth, 16 top, 16 bottom. So that's his molars, premolars, canine, incisors, and palate. That's it. Vertical section of a molar. So pulp cavity contains blood vessels and nerve endings. Cement, similar in composition to dentine, without any canals, helps anchor tooth to jaw. Gum usually covers junction between enamel and cement. Vitamin C deficiency impairs the production of collagen fibres, so tooth may become loose and fall out. Enamel, hardest tissue in the body, produced by tooth-forming cells and made of calcium salts. Once formed, enamel cannot be renewed or extended. Dentine forms a major part of the tooth, harder than bone, made of calcium salts, deposited on a framework of collagen fibres. It contains a series of very fine canals which extends into the pulp cavity. Wow, there's a lot here. Bacteria produce sticky matrix which traps food, forms a coating of plaque. This is tooth decay, by the way. Converts sugar to acid, respiration of bacteria, so glucose lactic acid. Acid removes calcium and phosphate from enamel, allowing bacteria to reach the dentine. When decay penetrates dentin and reach pulp, there's severe toothache. When bacteria infect pulp and forms an abscess at the base of a tooth, forms pain and gum infections. Treatment: decay part drilled out by dentist, hole is filled with amalgam or plastic. Amalgam is an alloy of mercury. Can be prevented by eating food with low sugar content, brushing teeth, so guidelines. Fluoride added to drinking water, or finish a meal with vegetables, fruit and rinse with water. Although that won't do much. Mechanical digestion, breaking down of large insoluble food to small food particles through chewing. Chemical digestion, breaking down of large insoluble food molecules into small water-soluble molecules through digestive enzymes. Peristalsis, a wave-like muscle contraction that pushes bolus down towards the stomach throughout the gut. So fibre is important as peristalsis cannot occur if food is too liquid. Here is the diagram of peristalsis. Can you see it? Yeah. Saliva contains amylase, so converts starch to maltose. Bile, made by liver and stored in gallbladder, contains hydrogen carbonate, which neutralises acidic chyme from stomach. Emulsifies fats. This helps to increase surface area for lipase to act on. Intestinal juice, various enzymes included, maltose to glucose from maltase, trypsin, breakdown by maltase, trypsin, erepsin, lactase, lipase and renin. Stomach secretes gastric acid. Hydrochloric acid kill bacteria, provide optimum pH for pepsin and stop amylase. Mucus protects wall lining of the stomach. Pepsin protease enzyme, protein to polypeptides, which are amino acids. Pancreatic juice contains, which are alkaline, starch to maltose through pancreatic amylase, trypsin, protease enzyme, polypeptides to amino acid, lipase, fats to fatty acid, and glycerol. It also neutralizes stomach acid. And bile does so as well, because it's alkaline.